Sorry, I might have been talking. I thought I'd unclicked off my mute, but maybe I haven't done. Can somebody in the chat just confirm they can hear me now? Hopefully they can hear me now. Anyway, right, there we go. I was eating crisps, alright, don't shout at me. You don't want to hear me just scoffing in my face. Right, anyway. So I'll have to do the introduction again now because I've been chatting to myself for 5 minutes. Great job, Lee. Well done. So, welcome back to GT2, and it is time for your weekly dose of GT Sport action. Of course, the F1 Circus returned this week on FTRL. We saw 2 cracking races from the Red Bull Ring. Tonight we are at the Lago Maggiore circuit, based in Italy. Oh, I've left the room. Interestingly, what's gone on there? Test starts. Hopefully he'll be back in quickly. So, hopefully Mike will get back in quickly. Obviously one of the current title front runners. He'll not be on to missing out. So we are at a halfway point of the season, round 7 and 8. So the sprint race, which is the 20-minute race that we start with every week, is at the east version of the circuit, and then the main feature race a little later on will be at the full GP track. Of course, we also make a visit here later on in the season, GT1, and that'll be the west and the full track taking place. So 2 teams playing their wild card this week, one of which is the team in front of us there, Team Aaron in the sky blue cars, and also Team Pagani playing their wild card this week. So those drivers will be scoring double points, so expect them to be pushing hard for strong results. So we'll go on board with Donzo for a flying lap. He was winner last time out. The feature race outdoor topless, his first win of the season. He threatened to do the double. Unfortunately, he was involved in the first corner accident in the sprint race, which meant that it was SBY Team Goy who took the spoils in the sprint race. And those two looking strong in the practice session just before the race started, so expect those two to be at the sharp end again. Up the hill and into this fast flowing S section here, took the apex nicely on both sides. Entirely so far from Donzo, the Toyota handling well around here. That wide then through another fast S section, and then normally here you charge down the hill towards the hairpin, however here it's just a short run. And another tight hairpin here. See apex nicely, quite tight on exit as well, but get the power down out to the curb. And then run down and start finish straight. And you'll set the first flying lap time, and it is a 17.5. We'll go on board then, just gets the first part of the lap as well. This is the first corner, which is a very treacherous, hard 90-degree left-hander into a quick hairpin, so high speed down to a heavy braking zone, slow section, then you start building up again. Flow out to the left-hand side here for the left-hander. Flick yourself back over for the right-hander. Clip in the curve nicely. Follow on the power, over the curves again. Go down the hill, then you've got this interesting sort of uphill hairpin. You need to stay left. Come away from the edge of the circuit. You don't want to clip the grass there, or as you end up in the wall on the left hand side. Lots of camber there, so get into the apex, use that to run out wide up the hill. And we're back to where we picked it up before, so we'll come out now and just have a quick run down the order. So Donzo, who of course on for double points, currently on pole position, and so for Lise in his familiar position of P2. For over the bridesmaid, but currently our championship leader, so could this be the season where the bridesmaid finally becomes the bride? We'll be hoping so. After our Panda going strongly in P3, of course we're down to 2 for Team Pagani for this week. Unfortunately, next Iceman has stepped down, so expect a replacement to come in quite quickly to fill the quota up for the cars in black. Switch back currently in P4. The Azoo Beetle. And then Feber. Finally Mr. P7, Corey up in P5. The man who's been involved in far too many first corner accidents, and again this is another circuit which could very easily catch out a few people. The car's heading to a very tight braking zone and a hairpin. Hopefully everybody will get through cleanly. It's currently sitting P5. Jockey Sports in the 300 Peugeot, just been in for a fresh set of tyres. P6 ahead of SPY. Half a second covering the top 6 or 7 at the minute, 7, so top 7 in just over half a second. very closely matched. SPY now going fastest. We've got Pro Stop Steph in P8. Next is Cat's P9. Ahead of Just Mikey. Later rival of Zonwa. Ahead of Goikop. JP Greenwood, who is serving a qualified ban this week, unfortunately, after incidents last time out. So it's Donzo who continues to hold pole position. He was half a second up by himself. As he pushed that gap out now, he is quite handsomely on pole position. So for latest improve. Just starting a lap, but then you've got Unsafe for who's 0.4 down. Then look at how close the field is between him and SPY in P7. Only about a tenth between. So SPY goes second. So he halves that gap. But you see how close it is in the mid-pack. Unsafe Release, Panda, Switchback, Fever. And then just a thousand up on Junkie Sports. So you got 5 cars all within a tenth of a second in the mid-pack at the minute. So very tightly bunched. Because SPY has closed that gap significantly to Donzo. Michael's back in the lobby. Not quite sure what's happened to them there, but one of the current championship title contenders is going to be starting at the back. Panda. See how the NSX is handling. Passes a mid-engine car. Should take these sweeping sections very nicely. Well bounced. A little bit too much curve there though. Maybe giving them the commentator's curse. He holds on to it masterfully. And he's abandoned this lap, so he pulls over. People making an interesting point there. Of course, Donzo on pole currently, but that Toyota does not get off the line very well. As Fever pops himself up onto P2, so perennially Mr. P7 is currently Mr. P2. He's taking over his teammate and friend's, seemingly the position he has nailed on of P2. So Fever then with a turn of speed. Splits SPY and Donzo. Backing up there from Fever. Gets himself out of that pack that was tightly bunched, although Steph has now got himself involved as well. So Unsafe Release, who's still 4.47 back. Panda and Steph, Switchback, Junkie Sport. So yeah, we've still got 5 cars, very tightly bunched. Junkie Sport taking his time in the pits. 4 minutes left to go. Another flying up. Let's see if he can find that 0.123 of a second he needs to take over at the top. In fact, now he's coming to the pits. SPY behind him. He carries on. He's on an outlet though, so we'll stay on board with 2-time race winner this season already. Let's see how the 4GT is handling around here. Okay, another mid-engine car, but this one is slightly more aggressive on its tyres. Handling nicely there, staying over to the left-hand side. Gets himself a nice angle to attack the right-hander. And blast down the straight. This will be the Ford will be at his strongest. And he is almost over a quarter of a second up in that first sector. So going well so far. Nice line into the uphill hairpin. Just a little bit away from the apex there, but not too bad. The hill then tucks over to the right hand side for the S's. Tucks in, clips the apex nicely through the S's. You can attack those curbs there a little bit more. Some of the drivers there giving them quite a lot of respect. We saw obviously FTRL Panda have a big moment of the curbs there, though attacks that one though. Big sausage curve under the bridge. Mounted that sausage hard. Into the braking zone at the hairpin. Takes a nice sweeping line. Out to the edge. On the curb. You're now driving for the line. He was up in the first 2 sectors. Is he going to dispossess Donzo from pole position? And he does. By 4/10 of a second as well. That's a cracking lap from SPY. a lot of people queried the choice of the Ford GT. And so far SPY is proving all his doubters wrong. 2 wins to his name already. Yes, Michael, I think you should get into the race if you're in the lobby. I think the settings have changed, so fingers crossed. Should start back. Some appreciation of that lap there. City Posh, of course, the reigning GT2 champion. And Donzo, what can he do to respond? Still flying 4/10 of a second somewhere. He does improve, gets to within 0.134, so he found some time, but not quite enough. So into just over a minute left to go. Run down the order. SPY on pole position ahead of Donzo, who's out on the grass. That's going to cost him. FIBA P3 ahead of his teammates. Unsafe release, so both Germans on the second row. Panda sat on row 3 in P5 alongside Steph. Both of those cars playing their wildcard. Switch back to Junkie Sport, so teammates on row 4, 7th and 8th. There's Cats in P9, just Mikey going well in P10. Seemingly enjoying the challenge of Maggiore. A lot of curb there from Mikey, maybe too much curb down, a bit of a wobble. Son White is P11 alongside Guy Karp. JP Boomwood, of course, in the pits, serving his qualifying ban. Now FIBA did improve his times, he has closed up, pushed that gap slightly, 17.5, just over a quarter of a second back, but at the moment it looks like a straight shootout between SPY and Donzo for pole position. 12 seconds left, so just got some more time then. Donzo I think will be the last one to start another lap. So let's see, SPY is coming around now, he'll be finishing shortly. Junkie Sport meanwhile has moved himself up onto P4, he's gone very deep there, SPY. Unsafe release improves, but does not improve his position. So he's staying P5 at the moment. SPY doesn't improve. Donzo, let's pick up the man P2. He's a little bit wide there, kicks up the dirt on the exit. He's down, but only just through that first split point. Where is FIBA? FIBA has finished, no improvement from FIBA. He'll be starting P3 provisionally, as the final few laps come round to be completed. Can Donzo find the time in the middle part of the lap? He can, he is up in the middle sector. Donzo pushing back for pole position. He's got the car in the foreground. I don't think he'll get in his way though. Just got to get around this hairpin nicely. Oh, he's a little wide. The hand bounced nicely. Did that cost him enough for pole position? It's a drag race to the line. And it did. So Donzo threw away pole position in that final sector, just got that hairpin a little bit wrong and it cost him the time that he made up in that middle sector of the lap. But a stunning effort of the SPY, who takes pole position for round 7 for the sprint race. Right, now, fingers crossed, Michael should appear on the grid. Because I think there has been something changed with this. We'll find out in a second. Ooh, maybe he isn't there. No, he's not there. Right. So we may be doing a lobby restart. We shall see. Yep, right. So do bear with us, technical difficulties. So we just await for a new lobby to be set up. Grid order back sorted. Get round 7 underway. So while we're waiting for the lobby to be set up again, I'll dig out the championship standings. Give ourselves a refresher of how the points currently line up. I don't when this was last updated. Here we go. Right, so after last week, Unsafe Release is our championship leader on 109 points. We have to switch back in P2 on 98 ahead of Michael C, who is third on 83. SPY sits fourth on 73 ahead of Donzo, who is fifth on 71. Actually, he does have 2 wins, so I thought he only had 1, but no, he has 2 wins to his name. So I do apologise for that. Junkie Sport is P6 on 69 points. Ahead of Fever, of course, in P7, 52. Somewhat in P8, 44. Of course, Som is still, I think, cursing the misfortune that befell him on Goodwood Week when his wheel broke just before the race started, because he showed an excellent pace around there. So hopefully he'll get another chance to fight for a victory. Currently 8th in the championship ahead of Steph, who is 9th on 35 points. Then we've got a trio of black cars with Panda P10 on 18, Cats 11th on 17, and now the departed Iceman on 8 points alongside Goy Carp. Just Mikey on 3, and JP Greenwood, who only made the race his first time last week, sitting on 2 points, P15. Right, so we are waiting for everybody to get back into the lobby. And I'll set the grid up. And we are good to go again. Back in. 12 drivers in so far. A couple of others to reappear. Somewhere. One more to go. And it is go time. So yeah, as we mentioned before, SPY likely to get a good Donzo starting the mind games early with a little bit of contact there. And everybody is back in the lobby, so we'll just wait for them to set the grid. And then it's go time. Donzo starting the mind games, SPY starting them back. So if Release sideways as ever. Won't be doing his tyres a lot of good. Man starting P5. So, yes, podium predictions coming in already. Not even asked for them yet, so you push, don't jump the gun. So, podium predictions, everybody. What do you think in the chat? Who do you think's going to be standing on top of the podium in this one? First one in is from City Posh, who reckons SPY for the win, Donzo second, and Unsafe third. It's a safe bet, although Junkie Sport and Fever will be hoping to ruin that as they currently head Unsafe Release. Of course, Unsafe from that Mercedes will likely get a very good jump off the grid. One of the Mercedes' strengths is its launch. Of course, Donzo is going to be the one to be looking over his shoulder at the start. However, it's a very short run down to the first corner at Maggiore, so he might not hemorrhage too many places. Defend his line. He's on the inside as well, which should help. So Iggy reckons Fever unsafe and SPY, so I'm going for Fever to claim his first victory. So he's shown significant improvement the last couple of weeks, and he's shown good pace here so far, so possibly not out of the question. We shall see how they get on. Peatman reckons Peatman, CB, Seaposh Blue and Ravers. Well, anything can and usually does happen, and I wouldn't put it past that happening either. Cats has gone for not me, not me, not me. Yeah, you could be right, but you never know, Cats. You never know. Following quickly there, Ron with Donzo, SBY and Unsafe, so they seem to be the popular three. The race is about to get underway. SBY on pole, Donzo alongside him. Sorry, I've got the grid the wrong round, so SBY's on the inside. Here, off the racing line, is that? Probably is no, it's off the racing line here, so grid compromising the start. Brakes are on, lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, revs are up, and away we go. Good start as expected by SBY. Fever's got a good start as well. Donzo going backwards, has been jumped by both Mercedes off the line by the look of it. SBY coming in a little bit sideways into the first corner, but holds the lead. Fever up to second, Unsafe third, Donzo down to P4, kept ahead of Junkie Sport. Katz is up to P6 as well, so he's had a good start. On the curve there, looking at the back of Junkie Sport, his teammate Panda just tucked in behind him. And you've got Steph, switch back. Just Mikey, he's had a good start, he's P10, ahead of Michael, who's got a great jump from 14th, he's already up to P11. He's jumped Zonwa, JP Greenwood and Goy off the line. Back at the front, oh, Katz, was he wide? He is, round goes Katz at the hairpin. And all the way to the back, so next Katz just clipped the grass. And it's all got a little bit wrong there for Katz after that great start, all the way down to the back. SBY is your leader from Fever. Unsafe release in third. Fever's picked up a penalty already. In the background, Donzo on the attack now as well. He's onto the back of the 2 green cars. Further back action, Stefan switchback going at it. Michael to P9 now as he goes past Mikey, so Michael's had an absolute demon start. An opening lap up to P9 from 14th. Got a battle of 4 for the lead. SBY holds the lead. Fever tucked in behind him in second. Unsafe looking for a way through. Donzo trying to get down the inside of the hairpin. Unsafe on the grass. Going to open the door for Donzo. Not quite close enough at the moment. Oh, big lunge there from Donzo. Showed the nose. Backed out of it in time. Sport P5, Panda P6. Steph switchback and Michael. So these 5 together, you've got Mikey and Zonwa side by side, coming down to the hairpin. Zom up into P10. Leading on the apex, Mikey trying to switch back. JP Greenwood trying to buy into this scrap as well. Katz recovering as he goes up inside of Goy. Now side by side into the S's. Sorting themselves out, so back with the leader. SBY just starting to pull a little bit of a gap. He's got out of slipstream range, which could be critical. Fever continues to hold second, Unsafe third, Donzo fourth. Now behind them, Junkie Sport and Panda are starting to close that gap. We've got 4 for the lead. This could be very quickly a train for 6. We've got switchback just ahead of Steph now. Michael as well, so these 3 are coming. We could possibly have 9 cars in the battle for the lead in a moment. Fever a little bit sideways there into the right-hander, but holding onto it nicely. SBY just inching away still. Forward going well at this moment. Skating it in on the brakes into this uphill hairpin. He'll be using all the track. Lovely line there from him. Comes to lead his teammate, Donzo on the back of him. Junkie Sport and Panda trying to bridge that gap. It's currently 1.2 seconds between 4th place Donzo, 5th place Junkie Sport. Panda tucked in, gets on the grass, and 6 has a bit of a wobble. And switch back in Steph Curry. Michael's had a bit of a moment somewhere, he's dropped off the back a little bit. Zonwa trying to get on terms with him. And you've got JP Greenwood, Katz and Mikey. So 1 Aston against 2 Mercedes. Going 3 wide into the hairpin. Mikey going all the way around the outside. He's on the grass, he's gone too wide. And next as Katz picks up 2 places in 1. Great move from him there. JP Greenwood starts where he finished. Starts and finishes in the same position. Now going back on the attack. Mikey and Goy now trying to buy into this as well. He wants a little bit of the action. Leader still 1.2 seconds between first and second, but Junkie Sport is nearly there now. Gap down to 7/10. He's in slipstream range of Donzo. And he does like Maggiore. He's gone very well here in the past in GC1, so not surprising to see him going well. He's there now, he's definitely there. So now this is 5 for the lead. Meanwhile, Unsafe is now getting quite... sideways is what he's getting. I was about to say he's getting... he's looking for a way by. He's getting active and looking to find a way past Fever, but instead, he's now going to have to go defensive from Donzo. After that huge moment there, Donzo is thinking about a look. Well, Fever went a little bit deep into the corner there, and Unsafe almost met him on the apex. Junkie Sport's there now, he's got Panda on the back of him again. So now Panda's looking for a way through. And all the while, Switchback and Steph continuing to close. Back to Michael's 2.8 seconds, so Michael's got a bit of work to do to get back on terms after that great opening lap. Someone now clearing P10. Cat's just inching away from JP Greenwood. Or Mikey's hit the back of JP Greenwood. JP Greenwood just about saves it. Goy Karp's there now. Mikey had a misjudged his braking point there. Slammed into the back of JP Greenwood. And that's dropped him all the way down to P14. Meanwhile, in the background, Fever's wide. Oh, and Junkie Sport's gone hot as well. So all change. Unsafe up to P2, but Donzo on the attack. He's down the inside and back down to P3. He goes Unsafe as Donzo cuts through. Mistake from Fever. I think he must have clipped the grass. So they approach the braking zone for the hairpin. That's dropped him down all the way to P7, of course. Junkie Sports are coming very hot now. He's got FTRL Panda all over him. That's just kind of split this group up a little bit. Junkie Sport going defensive to the hairpin. He's trying to go round the outside. He sort of squeezes him on exit. Michael sideways in the background. And is still tucked right into the rear wing of that Peugeot. Goes down the inside. And I think he's got the move done. He doesn't deal. Side by side still. Fighting back. Will hang on around the outside. No. Door is slammed firmly in his face. To P4 goes Junkie Sport. Back up to P4 goes Junkie Sport. So now we've got 5-car squabble for P4. A little bit of a gap has opened up again now between Donzo and Unsafe. Although Junkie Sport now trying to bridge that gap again. SBY continues to hold about a 1.2 second lead. So he's getting away, and now Donzo's behind him and charging. He's already taken a couple of tenths out of him up through the hairpin. This section here with all the S's is probably where the Toyota is at its strongest. He's got down to under 7 tenths, but as they get on the power and they open the taps up, that Ford GT just starts to streak away. There's going to be an interesting battle between these two now. He's just starting to put a bit of distance into Unsafe. So, was a little bit wide, or was he just taking a wide, very loose on exit? Donzo right on his tail. Unsafe's on the grass. Galloped it all up, but that's cost him some more time. He's also letting Junkie Sport back into his tail. Switchback, meanwhile, is making a move on Panda. Good drive out the hairpin into turn 1 and up into P5 goes Switchback. Panda taking a wide line, opened the door. Fever had a look, quite able to find a way through though. Steph just keep on watching briefly on everything at the moment. Michael P9 is not really getting back on terms. He's actually dropping away from the top 8 now, so whatever moment he had seems to have knocked his confidence a little bit. Not able to keep the pace with the top 8s. And Zom continues to close. Katz is also bridging that gap now. JP Greenwood after that contact still P12. Goy in 13th. And Mikey trying to regroup in P14. Back with your lead 2. Donzo is right with SBY now. SBY's tyre wear quite a lot worse. Ford is not kind on its tyres. Donzo's had a great run through the S's. SBY can't shut the door. Donzo's down the inside and into the hairpin on lap 7. And Donzo takes the lead. Meanwhile, Junkie Sport up the inside of Unsafe behind them as well. So 2 moves into the same corner. SBY bails out into the pits. That's the Junkie Sport. Anybody else go as well? Yep, Steph's in and Panda. So some of the guys going for the undercut. Switchback, Fieber, Michael, Zom have all carried on. Katz is in the background. Now, quite critically, SPY is ahead of Michael. Junkie Sport is behind him. Junkie Sport is definitely closer to SPY. SPY to put any fuel in that wonder. Let's maybe just put him backwards a little bit. Good battle here. SPY and Michael, Junkie Sport all in a line. And we've got Steph, Panda. Steph has jumped Panda in that pit sequence. Donzo is your race leader, 2.8 seconds. Is he going to pit this lap? He is indeed, so Donzo will respond. Switchback meanwhile is now right on the back of Unsafe. So here they come. The ones who didn't pit are in. The ones who did last time coming through. Game, can you? Right, if the game will let me pick the driver I want to watch, please. There we go. And after the pit stops, oh my. Donzo has lost out horribly in that pit sequence. SPY has resumed the lead. Unsafe is second. You've got Michael in third. Junkie Sport fourth. Steph is fifth. Donzo, having been leading the race, is now P6. He's got it all to do again. You've got Panda right behind him. Feeder down to P8. And Switchback P9. So that's really not worked out for some of the guys in that. The undercut has worked an absolute treat for some. Safe Release has got the magnets on the back. Back into P2, he's right on the tail of SPY. Can he make a move? Junkie Sports Steph. Donzo's got to pick his way through all over again. What's happened? Will all over the back of him in the NSX. And Switchback just behind. Panda now looking racy as well. Flash of the lights, trying to put him off. He's going for a bit of a switchback. Oh, Junkie Sports had a bit of a moment ahead of him, I think. Loses a place to Steph, and now it's Panda and Donzo side by side down the start finish straight. He's got the slipstream, Donzo's got the inside though. How's this going to shake out? Can go side by side through this, as they do. Panda's got the inside then for the hairpin, and he gets the overtake done. So Donzo going backwards at this stage. He's on super soft tyres, so I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong for Donzo there. That one extra lap. And him and SPY had quite a comfortable lead as well. So one extra lap on those tyres has hurt him badly. SPY is your race leader. What's going on in the background there? Wide goes Junkie Sport. It's cost him a couple of places. Donzo and Panda are through. A little bit hot into the hairpin. That seems to be the main point of the track where people are making errors. He's down to P7. He's got Fever and Switchback now closing in. Back up with the race leader. SPY leads. Also Felicia looking. Oh, Steph's gone very hot into the hairpin. Crashes into the outside wall. Through goes Michael. Through goes Panda. Down for Steph. Fortunately there, I think he was battling with Michael. I don't think he was ahead of him at that point, but just fighting back against Panda. Quite able to get up the inside into turn one though. He's got his teammate tucked around his rear wing again. So mistake there from Steph. Battle for the lead. Unsafe is still lashed onto the back of that 4GT. Not letting him get away this time. 6 minutes to go, so we're looking at probably 5 more laps. Look at the fuel situation then. Unsafe's got quite a bit less fuel than SPY. Michael's got even less. Steph fighting back against Panda. Quite able to get the drive up the hill. Donzo waiting for his moment. You'll be wondering what happened to him. How's this one got away? Switchback has passed Fever for P8, and now he's chasing after his teammates. Further back we've got Zom and Katz in a battle for P10. JB Greenwood hanging on to the final points. Goy doing well in P13. And Mikey closing it down as well, so the two newbies are going to start squabbling again shortly. Michael pits, and Michael's running long. That's why he was so high up. So Michael running very long there. Interesting strategy from him. That's promoted Panda up to P3. SPY's a big slide there coming out of the hairpins. He tries to get the power down. And so Felice is all over the back of the Ford. We're not going to have a look on the inside into the right-hander. And then we've got a 3-car squabble for that final podium position. Panda holding onto it at the moment. Steph tucked in behind him. Donzo right on his rear wing now. SPY, oh, big drift there as he tries to get the power on up the hill. Donzo now side by side with Steph as they come up the hill. He's got the overtake done, so back up to P4. Where he found himself at the end of the first lap. His gaps have opened up there, all well on the grass. He is pushing hard. With the lead into the hairpin, still as you were, unsafe looking for a way through, but SPY holding him off for the moment. Now got 4, maybe even 5 cars or switchbacks on the grass in the background for the podium place. Steph pops out the slipstream, but not quite close enough to have a move on Donzo this time around. Again, SPY getting that forward, shaking its head as they accelerate at the hairpin. Unsafe, not quite close enough to capitalise again. You can see him taking a slightly different line into the right-hander. SPY's line a little bit more wider entry, opens the angle up, which means you can get on the power better, and the one thing that Ford does very well is squirt in a straight line. Keep the globes clean, keep the jokes clean, boys, please. Panda still holding on to the final podium position, however that train behind him is growing. A switchback is now back on the rear of this train. P4. F5. Oh, Junkie Sport's gone wide again. He's lost it in the S's. It's a bit weird. Like, did he clip the grass on the turn in, I wonder? That's dropped him all the way back to P9. Should just about get away before Zom and Katz close up, but Junkie Sport has exited the battle for the podium. He'll be disappointed with that. I know he does like Maggiore, but it will give him a stronger starting position for the main race. Battle for the lead. SPY still leads. Unsafe right behind him still. Keeping a little bit more in line that time, SPY. Tyre situation. The front tyres are about the same. It's just the rear tyres on that Ford are a little bit worse. Although he's had such a good run out of that corner, that might give Unsafe a chance into the hairpin braking zone. He's close, he's going to pop out, looks to the inside, down the inside goes Unsafe Release, into the lead of the race, and move done. So Unsafe takes over in the lead for the first time. And what does SPY have to respond? A little bit further back, Panda still in that final podium place. Donzo now looking for a way through though, he's right on the back of the NSX. Steph very much there as well, switchback just keeping a watching brief. Feber back into his beloved P7. Michael trying to close the gap, but not able to do so at the moment. And while Zom and Katz have both passed Junkie Sports, another big moment there. JB Greenwood, slightly lonely race in P12. Goy has lost Mikey, so I think Mikey's had an off somewhere. He's dropped away, so onto lap 15. This will be the penultimate lap of the race, I believe, although we might get another 2 laps in yet, we shall see. Unsafe leads the race, SPY still with him though. So this one is not finished yet. Also the battle for the final podium position. Still hotting up, Panda still defending from Donzo. Switchback's now making moves on the back of Steph. Steph's going very defensive into the hairpin, but Switchback is coming as Donzo goes through as well on Panda. Panda's trying to hang on around the outside though. Fends him off, great driving from those two. Switchback still up the inside of Steph. now Steph's got the inside for the S's. We're going to go side by side. Steph fends him off for now. Great driving from those two as well. Fieber trying to get back on terms as well. Couple of front fairly open. Donzo looking for a way through. He's got up the inside of Panda, coming through the S's into the hairpin. He'll have the inside line. This should be move done. And he does make the move this time. We saw that move on SPY earlier. Repeats on Panda, but this time Panda's now got the drive off the corner with the switchback. He's on the outside, but if he can be alongside through turn 1, he'll have the inside for turn 2. But I think Donzo has seen him off, so the top 7 have got through for one more lap. Michael has finished in P8. Zom just pips Junkie Sport to the line. Cats in 11. P11. JP Green will come home 12th. Go will be 13th. Mikey 14th. But we'll go back to the... Oh, change for P3. Oh no, we saw that already. Getting excited. But change for P4 now because Steph is up the is past Will and switchback is through as well. So the NSX fading on the final lap. Meanwhile, Unsafe has now opened that gap up, so it looks as if Unsafe is going to take the victory here. And so now in a clear P3, step up to P4, switchback P5. And the P6, the P7, into the hairpin for the final time. A little bit overcooks it, but gets away with it. And Unsafe Release is your winner for round 7. His first win on track this season. He takes the victory from SBY. Donzo will come home in P3. Steph P4. Oh, has Panda run out of fuel? Oh, Panda's run out of fuel on the run to the line, and Fever's pipped him. So it is victory for Unsafe Release then, on P5 on the grid. Great driving from him. He picks up the victory in round 7, ahead of SBY and Donzo. So I think the podium was as expected with the drivers, but I think nobody got the order right. And he seems to be very happy with that one. So victory for Team Green. And we've just got a 10-minute break now before we start the feature race. It's coming from the full layout. So we'll just wait for the... Save the replay, don't I? There we go. Done. Switch back, I'm good to go. So yeah, Team Green, so Unsafe Release extends his championship lead. His nearest rivals down the order, Michael and Switchback, so extending that points lead. So we switch over to the main event, the feature race from the GP circuit. Thursday means we are close to the end of our action for this week, but do tune in tomorrow. We've got GT1 action. GT1 this week is coming from a pair of German circuits. We're starting off at the Nürburgring GP circuits. Back on the Formula 1 calendar for this silly COVID season that we've got going. Of course, it should provide a great race. All the weather can do anything. Of course, it will be dry for our races tomorrow, and I'm very thankful for that because my car was absolute dog in the wet last week. I'm very glad my week is over. If it had been the Group 4 cars, I would have been a different story. But unfortunately, the Group 3 GTR is not a fan of the wet weather, as I found out to my peril. That is the sprint race, and then we've got the feature race from the green hell itself, the Nordschleife. 14 or 16 miles, I can't remember which one it is now. A very long circuit, also a Formula 1 circuit, of course. Cannot possibly imagine current generation of Formula 1 cars going around there, but we will be doing 50 minutes of 140 odd corners around there, but I'm sure somebody correct me on that. Tomorrow, and that's the halfway for GT1 as well. Is anybody going to venture out? I think everybody's just taking 5 minutes. So Unsafe and taking his first victory on track this season. Of course, he did end up winning the feature race from Monza in week 2. Michael C was given a penalty for an earlier indiscretion, but somebody venturing onto track. It's Mr. Junkie Sport, so we're going on board with Junkie Sport for a lap of Maggiore GP. So, as we saw in the last race, 90-degree left-hander for the first corner into the hairpin. Moving over to the right-hand side for the left-hander, clip the curb on the left, hang over as far as you can to the left for the right-hander, give yourself a nice angle of entry. Straight on the power down the straight, down the little hill. Find your braking marker, but make sure you stay away from the edge of that track. I think I saw a couple of people, including Junkie Sport, run deep into that corner after clipping the grass. Go for the apex, then run out to the curb on the left hand side and get back over to the right hand side for the S's. Third gear through here. Curb nicely on the left, and then on the right you can be quite aggressive with those curbs and not pick up a penalty. Or the track and a little bit more. Sweep through the S's. Now this is where the track changes, because obviously we were going through the hairpin to the right here before. Now we go straight on down the hill. A late braker. Hard on the brakes for the hairpin. And lots of banking here though, so the camber's in your favour. You can really sort of railroad around the outside of the corner. Now you're driving back up the hill, over to the right hand side for the fast left-hander. Curve over. To the right hand side, apex again nicely, use the curve on the exit, and then two sweeping right handers in down to third gear again, clip the apex out to the outside and tucking forward second of the corners. Tightens on exit though, don't use too much curve there, you will pick up a penalty, and then we run down the hill, finally braking zone, tip in, apex nicely, run out to the edge. That's a little bit too wide from Junkie Sport. He's out on the grass to the wall. Watch out for that in the race. And that is a lap of Maggiore GP. Now we've got a different livery for Junkie Sport for this one. Let's see if you can pick up some of these. I think he's gone for a Cobra beer livery with a Cobra on the side of the car. So yet more excellent work from Mr. Junkie Sport. On the livery game. I think Tom's also sporting a new livery. He's got a monster-inspired one for this one. He's going a little bit deeper to one there. Get away with that one though. Still running the livery. Cat's still running his rocket phones. Donzo in his Ashy. Oh, switchback having a bit of a moment. Everybody else is as they were, so now just waiting for go time. Because it looks as if most people are starting on the medium tyres to get them out of the way early. But we're expecting a mix of 3 or 4 stoppers. I don't think many people will be trying the 2. Maggiore, with its a lot of high-speed corners, will hurt the tyres, especially the softer compounds, so I don't know if they'll last all that long. Corsa Posh straight in with his prediction. He's going for Steph for the victory, with Unsafe second and SBY in third. I think I'm going to throw... Donzo will be strong here. Donzo and SBY should be strong here. Unsafe has shown obviously he's got good speed around here as well. It's hard to count out Michael in these longer races because he seems to have his A game sorted for the long races, as we've seen so far, although he did struggle a bit in that one. Early doors, he did bring himself back into it, but I think he had an off early on which kind of set him back a little bit. He never really recovered from it. I don't think I'll count him out, so I'm personally going to go for the same 3 on the podium as last time. But I'm going to go for Donzo for the win, SBY second and Unsafe third. So now there's a couple of people's predictions for the last one. So 1 minute to go. Here at 1 minute 57, Donzo's then there. So that would suggest in the region of 26 laps. We shall see. With their results, Donzo and Steph coming home third and fourth. We'll run out of fuel on the last lap. So he lost out on a couple of places and points there, so I think maybe Will was fuel saving on that final lap, which meant that he lost places to Steph, switchback, and then obviously lost the place to Fever on the run to the line as well. The NSX ran out of fuel. He'll be hoping to go, make sure he finishes under power this time around. So here we go then for the main event, and it is Mikey and Goy who share the front row, JP Greenwood and Katz on row 2, Jockey Sport and Zom on row 3, Michael and Panda row 4, Beaver and Switchback. Lights are flashing. Everybody on the brakes. Wait for the revs to go up. There we go. And away we go. It's a good start from Michael. Katz has had a good start as well. Mikey's shot off the line. Goy has floundered off the line like a fish on land. And it is a Mercedes 1-2 as Katz is up into second. JP Greenwood down up to third. And you've got Junkie Sports had a good start. Oh, JP Greenwood and Junkie Sport bash panels. Michael's up to P5. Fever trying to go around the outside of him. They touch as well. What a sideways JP Greenwood there through the first couple of corners. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Who's gone? It was Mikey, unfortunately. So Mikey has spun out of the race lead in a straight line. That's impressive, Mikey. Well done. So Nexus Katz is now your race leader. From Junkie Sport, JP Greenwood holding on to third, Michael up to fourth with Fever in P5. Got FTRL Panda P6, Zonwa is P7. The sideways SBY behind him, he's out of the grass. He's going to save it, he does, he loses his position to unsafe though, and comes back on side by side with Donzo, who gets the jump on him as well. Battle for P3. Michael down the inside of JP Greenwood on the run down to the hairpin. Through he goes. Oh, JP Greenwood getting hung out to dry there. Panda and Fever go through and switch back. I'm sorry, Zonwa as well, also trying to drive up the... Oh, 3 wide coming up the hill. There's Concert there, unsafe was getting shuffled wide. Donzo takes advantage and picks up a couple of places. spin on the front row. Goikop and Just Mikey have returned to the back of the grid before the end of lap 1. So Katz is your race leader. Michael already up to P2. He's disposed of Junkie Sport as well. So Michael on the move early doors. Got Panda up to P4 as well. Coming around to complete lap 1. Katz is your leader. Michael P2 down the inside though into turn 1. Not close enough. Junkie Sport coming back at Michael in fact, and he's round the outside of 1. He's now got the inside for 2. Michael trying to go around the long way to hold him off, but no, Junkie Sport is through. Michael now coming back at him though. Drops back in, good move from Junkie Sport. Now got Panda on the attack. Panda's attack? I thought they just ate bamboo. Anyway, this one is making some moves, although Michael gets it on drive out of the corner, and now Junkie Sport, having reclaimed P2, is going for the lead. Quite this time though, although Katz has run a little bit wide. That's like Junkie Sport up the inside, but if you can get the drive off the corner. Watching Brink and Fever there as well. Donzo's up to P6. Everyone's safe, tucked in behind him, so those two coming through from the back. Switch back P8, SBY, P9, Green with P10. Tom down to P11 with Steph making steady progress. Got recovering Mikey, P13, Goy giving chase. Well, change for the lead. Junkie Sport is now your race leader. Into the lead, Katz down to P2. Got side by side Fever and Panda. Fever was ahead, still ahead. Fever back up to P4. Safe has dispatched Donzo. Donzo made a mistake somewhere, he's down 2 places. Safe down the inside of Panda, no quarter given there. Forceful move from Unsafe, he's up into P5. Katz is now behind Fever. So Fever making progress forwards now as well. And now Junkie Sport is off and running. Feels like Maggiore, and he's open for a 1.1 second gap. So Michael, for the second, Katz about a move into turn 1. He makes a late dive for it. Fever can hang on around the outside. He'll have the inside for the hairpin at 2. Katz trying to hang on around the outside. He's now got Unsafe down the inside. Panda and Switchback side by side behind them as well. Switchback going for that very tight entrance. Oh, bit of contact ahead of them. Still side by side, Donzo tucked in behind them, SBY recovering. Still on the inside as they come up to the hairpin, have the inside here, should get the move done as Donzo thinks about a move on Panda. Little Safe has now passed Katz for P4, so the team Iggy cars 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Switchback and Panda still side by side, Switchback finally got the move done. Up to P6, although Katz has had a moment now, and Switchback swoops around the outside of him, as does Panda. Donzo's up the inside as well. So Katz hemorrhaging positions on this lap. And now SBY is going to go for a move into the hairpin. Compromise has run down the straight, he's losing time all the way down to the braking zone, and through goes SBY. P8, so back up with the leaders. Michael's starting to put the magnets on now, closing that gap to Junkie Sport. Fever hanging on to P3, so closing in P4. We've got Switchback Panda with Donzo all over the back. SBY having passed Katz, now starting to close, and Katz just dropping back a little bit. John White sat in P10, Steph behind him. Got Just Mikey, P12, although he's coming a little bit hot to the final corner, he's going to run out to the grass, just gathers it all up. P Greenwood's had an off somewhere, he's down to P13, just ahead of Goy, who is taking a very tight line through the first corner. Now, Unsafe has dropped back a little bit here, he was running in P4, he's now P7, so he's had an off somewhere. Through goes Switchback, Panda and Donzo. Back of Donzo around the outside. Mind the grass. Oh, good move there from Unsafe, although he's going a little bit hot on exit. Don's going to get the drive up the inside. He's in the squeeze. Mercedes took. No, Donzo gets the move done, so good move from Donzo. And now SB White looking for a way through. Top 3 from round 7, now in 6th, 7th and 8th positions. Leader, still Junkie Sport. Closing in though. Down the straights. Junkie Sport then pulling away through the twisty stuff. Battle going on. Cars with their own strengths and weaknesses. Michael's Chevrolet faster in a straight line. In purple sectors, Junkie Sport ahead of him. Good through the twisty stuff. If he opens that gap up then through the corners, it's now up to 1.1 seconds. As they get on the power. Gap starts to come down again. Fever hanging on nicely to P3. Switchback now trying to get on terms. He's pulled away from the battle behind him. Panda hanging on to P5 with Donzo closing in. Unsafe. SB White. Bit of a gap back then. Cats is now coming under pressure from Zom and Steph. Line down the start finish straight. 3 wide. No, Steph thinks better of it. Cats defends the inside. Steph having a look around the outside of Zom, who's now up the inside of Cats, who's drifted away from the apex. He's on the grass. That gives Zom the drive, trying to go around the outside through the left-hander. I'll give him the inside for the right-hander, and that should get the move done. And it does, and Cats has run wide, so Steph is up the inside as well. So Cats down 2 positions. As you were, the switchback is ever closer to the back of Fever. Comes through the S's. And then now just open the gap up to Donzo a little bit, so there's going to be less pressure at the moment. Meanwhile, switchback now going for a move. Come down to the hairpin and up into P3 goes switchback. Good move there from the Yazoo sponsored Beetle. Race lead duo is As You Were. Gaps in about a second. Michael closes up on the straights. Junkie Sport pulls away in the corners. Now what can Switchback do about closing that gap? He's got 2.3 seconds to close. He's got a bit of clear air in front of him. The tyre situation, I think I saw somebody on a different compound, I'm not sure who it was. It was JP Greenwood, he's on Super Softs. As in comes Switchback. Let's be white, comes Unsafe, in comes Junkie Sport, in comes Donzo, in comes Panda. So, first stops of the race getting off the medium tyre. That leaves Michael in the lead of the race. Feber now second, or Junkie Sport having pitted. He's right behind him. He's on the super soft tyres, so he'll want to be passed quickly. You won't want to be getting held up. You should get a better exit off the corner. A little bit wide. Tucks in behind the Mercedes. And he should have enough grip to get down the inside into the hairpin. And through he goes. So up into P2. Sport can now set about chasing down Michael C. Pit stops. We've got Switchback in P4. We've got SBY right behind him. He has leapfrogged Unsafe and Steph and Donzo in that. Steph and Unsafe going side by side through the S's. While Steph is having a big drift. Into the wall he goes. Costly manoeuvre there. Whoa, comes back on and Cats is into the back of him and contact, and into the wall goes Steph. Don't think Cats expected to find a corner on the exit there. A car on the exit of the corner. Contact between those two, unfortunately. Potentially a good result for those two. less said about what Guy Carpenter's up to, the better. So Michael C leads the race. Junkie Sport, though, very quickly closing in now. Is Michael going to peel off this lap? He does. So into the pits he comes. That puts Junkie Sport back into the lead of the race. Fever is carrying on. Putting the fuel in. Switchback has still got SPY tucked right up behind him. Unsafe and Panda. Donzo. Where's Michael going to filter out with regards to Donzo? He's going to be ahead of him. So Michael out into P7. However, he's now 13 seconds behind Junkie Sport. And he's on the soft tyre, so he's going for a different strategy because a lot of the guys ahead of him. Panda's on the softs, Unsafe's on the softs, and you've got SPY on the supers. Switchback on the supers. Fever's still on his mediums. Junkie Sport on the super soft, so different strategies going on at this stage of the race. See how that comes together later on. Junkie Sport leads 5 seconds to the good ahead of Fever. He seems to be struggling a little bit on his tyres at the minute, so I'd expect him in any time. Switchback and SPY closing in on him rapidly now on the super soft tyres. Switchback there with a purple middle sector. Safe in P5, Panda P6, we'll see in P7 after his stop. Also in P8, he's on the soft as well, so again, different strategies. Up to the lead 8. And you've got Zonwa in P9, JP Greenwood still on those super soft tyres that he started on, I believe. P10, you've got Katz and Mikey now battling. Behind. Steph has just pitted. Carp, the legend that is, racking up those miles. So Fever pits finally. Last one to make his first stop off the mediums. Opens the gap up to 7 seconds between Junkie Sport and Switchback. So Team T Smith running 1 and 2. SPY doesn't really have any answer for Switchback at this stage. On the same tyre. SPY's got less fuel as well, so should be quicker, but Switchback is flying at the moment. Although Junkie Sport is the man on the charge. Race leader, fastest lap last time around, a 55.2. Safe in clean air now, trying to close down on SPY. He is P4. Panda's still hanging on to P5. Michael C is up to P6 after Fever's stop. Onto P7. Fever out in P8. He's now on the soft tyre. Sport, he does like Maggiore. He had one of his best results in GT1 a few seasons ago. Yeah, 4th position. Of course, we were out top of this last week, a circuit where he won at in season 8, sorry. Not able to repeat that success there, so is he looking at claiming the glory this week? 6.5 seconds to the good. Switchback now just starting to close down on him a little bit actually. He's taking a bit of time out of him this lap. Captain SPY is about the same, 1.3 seconds between those two. SPY using all the track there, including the runoff from the hairpin of the E circuit we were on earlier. How much time he took out Switchback there down that start finish straight, 0.4 of a second. Almost half a second he took out of him on that straight. That's the power difference between that Ford GT and the Beetle. Safe hanging on to P4. And closing in, Michael and Donzo coming as well, so these four are concertinaing together. Donzo now getting very racy on the back of Michael. Slightly different strategies. Michael ran longer in that first stint. Both on the soft tyre. Further back, Fever still P8. Zonwa now clear in P9. Steph is P10. JP Greenwood has finally pitted and put some fresh tyres on. He's P11. Just Mikey is P12. Cats has, I believe, just pitted. He's now 13th. And Goy Carp drifting out the final corner. P14. Junkie Sports lead, still 6.5 seconds. They're just about holding that gap now. However, that's possibly because Switchback is now looking in his mirrors a little bit harder. SVY has closed that gap to half a second, so he's now in slipstream range. Sweep through the S's. Switchback using all the track left to the dirt on the next of the curb. SVY holding tighter lines behind him. So Switchback now got a sense of urgency from behind. There's that battle for P4, 5, 6 and 7. Panda now right on the back. Junkie Sport is in. Switchback and Sport follow. Now they carry on. Panda's had a great run off the final corner. Dipped out the slipstream but went back in again. Is he going to look for a move into turn 1? Not close enough. Doesn't think about it this time. Just behind Donzo. I think I just saw Junkie Sport feeding back in. There he is. So he's back in P7. 2 seconds off the back of these 4 who are battling, so he could feasibly close that gap back up. Michael's possibly the one he's racing. Michael on a different strategy. Now this is the battle for the lead. Switchback's just opened that gap up again a little bit. Up to nearly a second. Tyre not too different. These two will be in this lap. Is under the bridge. High speed charge down the hill. Meanwhile, Panda has gone off. I thought he'd gone past and was about to flick back, and he has run wide and put behind Michael C and Donzo and Junkie Sport. So mistake there from Panda. Cost him a couple of places. Meanwhile, Michael has caught and passed unsafe, so Michael is back through into P3. Safe down to P4. Donzo now closing in. Junkie Sport honing in behind them as well. Next leaders then coming through the final couple of corners. They will peel off into the pits this time around. Neat red line for fuel. In comes Switchback, in comes SPY. SPY really tight on the fuel there, 0 litres of fuel as he enters the pits. That puts Michael C into the lead of the race. Panda in the background as well. Michael is unsafe coming in, very hot into turn 1, just about gets it stopped. Donzo looks up the inside coming out of the hairpin, and Toyota turning on a sixpence. So he's holding him off for now. Junkie Sport is now right on the back of these 3. He's got a great run off that corner. He's looking down the inside of Donzo. But that time he's got enough grunt in a straight line with a bit of a slipstream from the Mercedes. Pulls himself back ahead. So there's Junkie Sport now. He's out on the softs. Now Donzo goes from defence to attack. Is he now all over the back of unsafe release again? All contact. Junkie Sport getting a little bit hot there in the braking zone. Himself a little bit of time. Just gotta wait for your moments. The gap will come. And we've probably got a few more laps worth of fuel in yet, so now he's on the attack. He pulls out of the slipstream of unsafe release. Then side by side into the hairpin. Down the inside he goes, and the move done. Junkie Sport trying to follow him through. Unsafe will get the slipstream. Junkie Sport is side by side. He's got the inside for the left-hander. Junkie Sport can hang on around the outside though. The more grip, he'll have the inside, but no. So just about gets back in front. Well, this is letting Michael C just open that gap up a little bit. 1.1 seconds. Donzo's mirrors are full though. He is closing down on Michael slightly. Oh, contact! Unsafe going for the pits. Junkie Sport was down the inside, almost had a horrible accident, just about got away with it. Junkie Sport lost a little bit of time there, but not too much. Bieber P4, so SBY is now P5, he's jumped, switched back in the pits. Switchback has gone for more fuel. SBY on the super softs again. Switchback on the softs, so SBY on a different strategy. So this is back out in P7 just ahead of Panda, so it was just about, well, the undercut not quite working out for Panda there. And back on the tail of unsafe release, so I'm holding on to P9. Steph not too far behind after that earlier contact we saw with Katz. He's recovered to P10. JP Greenwood wrestling his Aston Martin. Out of the hairpin, hanging on to P11. Nexus Katz after his early dramas is P12 as Mikey pits. Good cop, look at him go. Look at the speed. Battle for the leader's got interesting while we've been away. Michael C has been caught. Junkie Sport has gone around the outside of Donzo, who's now just touches the back of Michael as they come out of the hairpin. Where's Junkie Sport? He's undercut and he switches back Donzo. He's up to P2 and he's back onto the tail of Michael C. So waiting for the opportunity and now down the inside, got the better grip. Michael C trying to hang on around the outside, but Junkie Sport's down the inside and back into the lead of the race. So good move there from Junkie Sport. He was looking a little bit eager earlier on. He's just settled back down again, and then that move presented itself quite nicely to him. Through he goes. SBY has cleared Feber further back, so Feber due a pit stop in the not too distant future. I think he might have one more lap in him. As Donzo pits, Michael C is carried on. A yellow flag might be possibly Goykarp. It is. Just getting out of the way there, everybody. They come through. So Junkie Sport is back into the race lead. He's a pit stop ahead of Michael C. Although Michael C on a different strategy. He's probably got another lap or so to go. SBY in third. Feedback hanging on to fourth. He's yet to stop again. Switchback is P5, unsafe is P6, now managing to pull away a little bit from Panda. Donzo after his stop is P8, so he's been jumped. But on differing strategies, so we'll have to see how it all pans out in about 25 minutes time. So in P10, JP Greenwood's now, sorry, it's on P9, JP Greenwood's now P10, and Steph has just pitted. Cat's hanging on to P12 and well early on, but shuffled backwards and had contact with Steph. Might keep P14 or just letting the leading cars come through. Junkie Sport still leading the race now, open that gap up to 1.7 seconds already, so the fresher tyres. Seeing him just sprint away from Michael C. SBY now closing in. Well, the switchback has now cleared Feber for P4. Michael C on the red line. Is he going to be in this time? Does he have one more lap in him? No, he's in this time. He pits. SBY goes through. Switchback goes through. Feber is in. So two of the Team Iggy cars on the same strategy. Unsafe seems to be on a slightly different one. Comes through to take P4. That will reclaim P5. Where does Donzo feed out relative to Michael and Feber? Donzo goes through. Michael should be out and on his way. He is. So Michael's P7. Feber has closed right off. So Michael has filled the tank this time. Feber has gone only 2/3 full. So differing fuel strategies there. Probably just one more stop to make for both. We're looking to run a little bit longer. Now 22 seconds behind Junkie Sport. Race it is is Junkie Sport still. Gap is 3.5 seconds. SBY is currently on a charge. Again, a similar proposition to as we saw the battle with Michael. The Ford is quicker in a straight line, but the Peugeot is probably better through the corners. The Ford is a little bit heavier on its tyres. Peugeot are very kind on its tyre wear. Less fuel at this stage as well, so he'll probably be in ran on like longer last time, but I think he'll probably pit on the same lap, if not earlier this time. Switchback not being able to get back on terms. Of course, they're on different tyres at the moment, so Switchback might come back at SBY in the final stint. SBY's yet to run the soft. Switchback, I expect, will go back onto Supers to finish the race. Safe release hanging on to P4, Panda P5. So only race for those two. Donzo trying to get back on terms with Panda. Fever squabbling over P7 and P8. So he's trying to drive each other on. And now they are just starting to chip away at that gap to the race leader. It was over 22 seconds, it's now 21. They start fighting with each other, they could soon find Zombar, who's in the background there, getting in amongst them. He's on a slightly different strategy, of course. He's still reasonably fresh tyres, but low fuel at the moment. Stephanie into P10. He's back ahead of JP Greenwood. Cat's in P12, Maggie P13. Goy on to P14. No pressure from behind at the moment. SBY continues to chip away at the race lead. That is now down to 2.3 seconds. He's had a second out of Junkie Sport. That's lap time. Should I pull the 156.5. Junkie Sport did a 1:57.4, so 9/10 of a second that lap. Sport and we're now on the red line each, so they'll be in this time around. Switchback has possibly got another lap in him in terms of fuel. Whether or not he chooses to get off those tyres or not, we shall see. Safe has possibly got a lap or two as well. So race leaders in, second place in, third place carries on. So Switchback now resumes the race lead. Unsafe pits from P4. Panda pits from P5. That through goes Donzo then. So Donzo now, where will he come out? Stopped. He takes P2 as Switchback, Junkie Sport drops into P3. SBY into P4, just ahead of Michael. SBY now on the softs. Fever and Michael continuing to circulate in formation, but Fever now just falling back. It seems to be he's happy to follow his teammate at the moment. Michael's gone for more fuel, so Fever can do a bit of fuel saving behind him. Unsafe is P7 after his stop, with someone right behind him in P8. Panda's come out in P9. Steph is P10. With P11, Nexus Cats and Mikey have got together on track. Nexus Cats has had a very look at the tyre wear on those tyres from Cats. He's trying the two-stopper, and that tyre wear is awful. Should have pitted a long time ago there. Interesting strategy. The race leader is Switchback. He's got 7 seconds to Donzo, but he will be in this time on the red line in terms of fuel. Donzo has got Junkie Sport close behind him. Looking the way through because Donzo's going to be going for a couple more laps yet, so we will have to pass Donzo. SBY meanwhile has got Team Green all over the back of him, Michael and Fever. You can imagine these two have both got one more stop to make. So So this is now 4th position. These guys are together on track. Michael likely to need less fuel. He does switch back filter back in. We saw him drop behind SBY at the last stop. He's going to come out alongside unsafe release. Is he going to be in front? He is just cuts off unsafe release. Pitted a lap earlier. So this is 4th position. This guy's probably got one more stop to make. Switch back onto the super soft. That's his unsafe release. So we're now just starting to pull away from Michael C a little bit to the purple first sector. So that will help. What can you do about closing that gap down to Junkie Sport? It was down to about 2.5 seconds before they pitted. However, he was slightly longer in his pit stop. Junkie Sport has opened that gap up to 4 seconds again. Junkie Sport in the slipstream of Donzo. Donzo goes a little defensive, so Junkie Sport's going to have to go around the long way. So very firmly shuts the door. Junkie Sport tries to switch back up the inside, get the drive up the hill. All over the back of the Toyota, holding tighter lines, trying to find an opening. Is he going to get it here? Can he get the overlap? Not quite. Toyota's tyres, front tyres are looking a little bit worse for wear, but again he's trying to get underneath him, get that overlap and get up the inside. All the while, SPY has now started to close that gap. It's now 3.7. He's fended off the advances of Michael and Fever. Switchback is also closing in and bringing unsafe with him. So you've got a 4-car train. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, all 3 Team Iggy cars. And Switchback, the odd one out. Now it's green everywhere. For Switchback, he's got the back of a green Mercedes in front of him, he's got the front of a green Mercedes behind him. And they're going to work together to shuffle him backwards. He's down the inside of Feber, not quite able to get through though, and here comes Unsafe. Compromised his run up the hill, Unsafe trying to get down the inside. He's got a little bit of an overlap, he's down the inside, but backs out of it. Switchback just holding on. We'll see at the head of his train still. Mercedes boys doing everything they can to shuffle Switchback back. Drive up there now. Feber's had a great run here. Feber now looking at Michael into the hairpin, is he? Or is he just going to sit in behind him? He's just going to sit in behind him. So if you're playing the team game, Unsafe trying to go around the long way. Switchback is still in this very awkward position here where the guys around him are all going to be working together, especially Feber and Unsafe, and he's got round the outside of him here. That's going to be a very good move if he can pull that off. Oh, Feber's into the wall. Yeah, so the tyre situation there. Switchback got a great entry through the S's there, got swept around the outside of Feber. His tyres not that bad, but I think that just the extra grip that Switchback had got the move done. Unsafe followed him through as Feber ran wide. And now Switchback on the attack of Michael, pushing it around the final corner in fact. As there's a change for the lead, but it isn't Junkie Sport, it's SPY. SPY has caught and passed Junkie Sport and Donzo. Donzo gets back past Junkie Sport, was there contact? Looked like he let him. And all the while, these 4 behind them, despite squabbling and battling, are closing in. Unsafe down the inside of Switchback. Switchback hangs on around the outside, so Michael C is now just 3.6 seconds off the lead. Everybody's got one more stop to make. Junkie Sport down the inside of Donzo into the hairpin, gets it done this time. But suddenly, SPY, having been 4 seconds behind a couple of laps ago, is now in the lead of the race. Now this race has swung. Switchback has got ahead of Michael in the background. now cleared all three of the green cars. And Panda closing in the background as well. He wants a bit of the action. He's on running a very lonely P9, but he'll be happy with solid points. I had a lot of chance to practice this week. Steph, of course, got hindered by that earlier contact. Hanging on to P10. JP Greenwood is still P11. There's Cats and Mikey still battling for P12. Cats hanging on at the moment. And somewhere there's a Goy Carp doing Goy things. SBY is your race leader now, though. He has cleared Junkie Sport and Donzo. Donzo will be in this lap. He's on the red line, so Donzo making his final stop. Switchback closing in on him as well, so he peels off. Switchback will go through into P3. In comes Fever, so Fever pits, but Michael doesn't. Michael's got a lot more fuel, so he carries on. But he has let Unsafe through. Panda trying to buy and say top 6 are covered by just under 7 seconds. With just under 12 minutes to go. So this could go one of two ways. Fever has jumped Donzo in the pits. So Donzo's got quite a lot more fuel than Fever. Has Fever got enough fuel, or has Donzo overfueled that? Interesting to see how that pans out. We're back onto the head of the field then. SBY is your race leader. Junkie Sport though trying to claw back some of that gap. Switchback not far back either. Top 3, less than 3 seconds between them. Less than 5 seconds between the top 4. Michael, he'll be pitting shortly. His front tyres looking very well past their best. P6 closing in. So, starting to take shape, this battle for the lead. I don't think anybody's significantly ahead. Because Michael had a lot more fuel in from the last stop, so it'll be a shorter pit stop for him. All these guys have got one more stop to make. They're pitting on pretty much every 10 minutes or so. So are we going to see them in this time? Or do they do one more lap? SBY is the first one round. He carries on. Junkie Sport carries on. Switchback carries on. Unsafe is in. Michael C is just about makes it in. Panda goes through. So now into P4. Here comes Fever and Donzo around the final corner. Where do they filter out relative to Unsafe and Michael? Unsafe is out. Michael is behind. So Unsafe ahead of Fever and Donzo. Michael is behind. So Michael's got a bit of work to do on the super soft tyres, lighting them up out of the hairpin. Zon in a steady P9 on the back at the moment. He'll have to pit again shortly though. Steph just pitted in P10. JP Greenwood lonely race in P11. Mercedes duo side by side. Coming out of the hairpin, but Mikey gets the move done. Overtakes Cats. Cop still there in the back. Now, battle between the two T Smith cars likely to commence shortly. Although I expect SBY is definitely in this lap. Junkie Sport might do another lap, although I think he would probably be best served going this lap. Don't think there's any benefit to the overcut. Switchback will be in this time. He's on the red line. Panda, he'll be pitting from P4. And you've got Unsafe, who's currently 17 seconds off the race lead. He's the first one who has made his final stop. So that's the gap to worry about. Michael now all over the back. Sorry, that's Fever all over the back of Donzo. Donzo has got the move done, but Fever isn't finished. So in comes SBY, in comes Junkie Sport, in comes Switchback. In comes Panda. So we'll watch Unsafe release. Coming round the final corner. Where does he come out? And where do the others come out relative to him? So to start finish straight now. It's going to be very, very close. Here they come. SBY looks like he's out in front. So is Junkie Sport. Oh, he's gone deep into the one though. Look at this. Switch back and unsafe side by side. Donzo, Feber and Michael. So we've got 7 cars, 8 cars, because Panda's there as well. Inside 8 seconds with less than 8 minutes to go. So, battle very much on. Any one of 8 cars can possibly win this. SBY is the one in the lead though. He's shown good pace earlier on. Unsafe has managed to split the 2 white cars. Switch back Donzo there as well. Feeper's there. Michael's got a little bit of work to do to close up there as well. Not less than 8 seconds off the lead. For a grandstand finish. We've got a big battle going on for P2. Junkie Sport currently holds it unsafe though, looking for a way through. Down the inside he goes to the hairpin. Switchback's going to dive through as well. So Junkie Sport goes back 2 places. He's coming back and switch back up the hill though. And now he's down the inside of unsafe. There's a little bit of contact. Differing lines. And all this is letting SBY get away. T Smith's got still side by side through these right-handers. Oh, Junkie Sport's going to have to give that one up. Surely he's on the grass. That might be a penalty. It is, so he's picked up a half-second penalty there, and all that's letting Donzo get onto terms with them as well. He's bringing Feber with him. Michael's closing as well. Panda not far behind, so these guys are all closing up now as they squabble. But that's let SBY open up a 2.6 second gap. He's driving away. Switchback eager to get the move on. Get after unsafe. He thinks he can take the fight to him. Junkie Sport, who's led a long portion of this race, now potentially looking at not finishing on the podium, but he is still very much in this fight. 5.5 minutes to go. That will be 3 laps. There's a purple first sector. Just do a bit of regrouping. He needs to get rid of that penalty as well. Second off the back of Donzo. Michael is closing as well. He's now just a second off the back, and Panda 1.4 seconds off the back, but still very much in this. Flash of the lights. Drop down behind, see where everybody else is getting on. Zombie is P9. A bit of a lonely race behind him. Steph not too far behind, but under immediate threat. JP Moonwood still running in P11. He's probably the most lonely man on the track. Nexus Cats has now put a bit of time into Mikey in that battle for P12. Goykarp, fresh set of boots onto the Subaru for the final stint of the race. Switchback has made the move for P2, but unsafe is coming back at him on the outside. Switchback then gets it done. All the while SBY is away and running. Donzo is now very much here, as is Feber, so this is a 5-car train. Safe going on the attack, down start finish straight. Switchback's going to defend the inside. Keep in position for turn 1, but for turn 2, if Unsafe can hang on around the outside, can't though, and now Junkie Sport trying to stick his nose in. Unsafe will have the inside line. Donzo trying to sneak up the inside as well. Junkie Sport's trying to hang on around the outside there to get the inside for the next corner. Though he does, contact. Unsafe goes wide. Donzo through the middle. Is he going to pick them both off? He's got one overtake done. He's now up the inside of Junkie Sport. And the Junkie Sport's got a better drive from the corner. Unsafe now coming back at him. Junkie Sport goes defensive. Donzo now trying to go around the outside. He's a little bit wide there. It's going to give Unsafe the drive up the hill behind them. Michael is through on Feber, as is Panda, so it's all changed further back as well. But these 2 packs of 3 squabbling. It's letting Switchback get away. And SBY's lead is now 4.5 seconds, so he is off and gone. barring a mistake, I think the win looks fairly nailed on for the Ford. Switchback now's got 1.2 over Junkie Sport, who's now clear of Donzo, and Safe trying to find a way back through. Great late race action, so I'm trying to spit my words out. Michael C under attack from Panda. Phoebe's having off at the moment somewhere. Let those two through. This tyre there looks a little bit worse actually, so maybe it's just a tyre. Panda's got the inside now, Michael, for the right-hander. Down the inside he goes, and through. Doesn't gain for Will. Safe has just dropped off the back of Donzo a little bit. He's now setting about trying to close down Junkie Sport for that final podium position again. Switchback has cleared off, that was 1.5 seconds, and SBY is gone. Oh, in the background, Michael's off at the final corner. He's into the wall. And that's let Fever through. So Michael drops it on what will be the penultimate lap of the race. Don't think this will be Zom's final lap, because yeah, it's 1 minute 56 is it? So this will be Zom's final lap. The top 8 will probably get 2 more laps in. SBY continues to pull away. It's now 5 seconds at the lead. Feel behind him, spreading out a little bit. Panda wide, and the NSX shaking its ass as he tries to get on the power on the dirty concrete runoff. Everybody just spreading out a little bit now. Switchback is getting caught a little bit now by Junkie Sport. Taken half a second out of it. Now he's got off. He managed to shake Donzo off his tail. He just dropped back a little bit, but Unsafe has also fallen away. Panthers regrouped after that big slide. Although he's now got Fever closing him down. And you can see after that mistake at the final corner. Now it looks like P8. The mistake is the best he can do. Fever is very close on fuel. He's on the red line. And there's still a lap and a half to go. So he could be needing to do some fuel saving on this final lap. Keep an eye on that. Everybody else seems okay fuel-wise. SBY has timed his run to the race lead absolutely perfectly. Switchback has no answer for him at this stage, but he's managed to open that gap to Junkie Sport up again. All the gaps just fanned out a little bit now. Yeah, I don't think Fever's going to make it on fuel, so he's slowing down. Yeah, Fever can't make another lap, so he's going to finish P8, gives P7 back to Michael C. He finishes the race. Panda has closed a little bit on Unsafe. But this is now the final lap of the race, so SBY is your race leader. Switchback giving chase, he's got it down to 4 seconds. SBY's probably just leaving something in it now. Junkie Sport's still got that penalty to get rid of. He's got enough of a gap to Donzo that he doesn't need to get rid of it, but just in case, he would be advised to get rid of it if he can do. Donzo under no pressure from Unsafe. The man on the move at the moment is Panda, who's trying to charge onto the back of Unsafe Release. Unsafe seems to be struggling, and Panda's had a great run through the S's. Nowhere to go there though, but can he cut to the inside on the run down to the hairpin? He can. Not quite got the overlap. Not yet anyway, he's still on the inside though. Not the inside for the hairpin, but drops back in again. Unsafe is last of the late breakers. Was just in the edge of the gravel there, but didn't slow him down too much. No change further up, so keep an eye on this battle for now. Will goes to the inside again. Has he got the move done this time? He's there. No, not quite. Unsafe just hanging on, but he's wide. Panda taking a tighter line. Still side by side. He's got alongside him now, but he's on the outside. Can he go the long way around? Up at front, SBY is your race winner. Switchback is second. Junkie Sport third. Donzo fourth. It's a drag race to the line. and it's Unsafe who wins by 6 thousandths of a second in the battle for P5, and Michael C comes home in P7. So what a fantastic conclusion to that race. It was a late burner, but it's victory for SBY. After all of that, fastest lap as well. Fantastic racing from GT2 once again. And that concludes our action for tonight. So thank you very much for joining us. As I mentioned earlier, do tune in at 8 o'clock tomorrow for GT1. And 7 and 8 coming from Nürburgring GP and the Nordschleife. That will conclude the FTRL action for this week. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed yet another fine couple of races from GT2. They will be back next week at the same time, so do join us again for that. But for this evening, thank you very much and good night.